So if you're thinking about Shabbos, for instance, as just a list of do's and don'ts, then you're totally missing the point. You're missing out on the intimacy that you can have with God. Hey everybody, I'm wishing you a wonderful new week. For me, it's actually not a new week. I'm filming this before Shabbos comes in. I wanted to take you behind the scenes and show you what Shabbos is like. Why? Because I was reading Colossians chapter 2 and I was thinking about Paul's negative attitude towards Shabbos and towards religious law in general. Paul was so antinomian. He just hated religious law. And in Colossians chapter 2, he's like, don't let people judge you over what you're eating or you're not eating, and about the holy days, Rosh Chodesh, the new moon, and Shabbos. All those things were just shadows. They're done away with. And why are you living your life according to the regulations of man? All these don'ts. And I was realizing, Paul is so responsible for poisoning people's minds against God's law, about making people feel that it's just restrictions and it's difficult and it's a burden. And people are like, oh, thank God the law is done away with. Thank God that we're not under that anymore. And that's one of the things that makes me think Paul was absolutely not a Pharisee, and he probably had never been inside of a Pharisaic community for any long period of time. Because if he had been, he would have walked away thinking Shabbos is the yummiest day of the week. I mean, I can ask anybody I know, and everybody says Shabbos is the best. It's like, it's yum, it's delicious. So I wanted to show you what Shabbos means. Now, I can't film on Shabbos. We don't do that. That is a don't. It is true. There is a list of rules. But these list of rules are so freeing and are so beautiful. Let me give you a little bit of background. When God created the world, he created the world in 6 days. And then the 7th day, he rested. He stopped. Why? Because as we've spoken about in the previous videos, we've spoken about how God concealed himself within this world, right? God used nature to mask himself. And if we search for him, we can find him. But if we're not searching for him, we can totally miss him. We can totally not see the godliness inside of nature. So God created layer upon layer upon layer of concealment in this world, and then he stopped. And Shabbos is the day that we come along and we say, God, yes, you concealed yourself all week, and all week it's been busy, we've been running, but we're stopping, we're dedicating ourselves to you, and we found you, and we're going to enter into this private marital chamber with you. We're going to be together in intimacy with you. We love you so much. And it's a day of delight. Isaiah in chapter 58, he says, if you call this day a day of delight, then you're going to delight in the Lord. And there's going to be so many blessings that are going to come upon you. Shabbos is just the most delicious of days. The average Jewish person loves Shabbos. It's just this wonderful day of bonding with friends and family, of eating good food, of praying, of learning, of focusing on the things that really matter. So yes, we do have restrictions, but those restrictions put us into the right mindset to serve God. So let me give you a rundown of what my Shabbos looks like. When sundown comes, I'm going to head over to the candles over there, and I'm going to light the candles. I'm going to make a blessing. I'm going to welcome in the holy day, and I'm going to pray for all the people I care about in my life, near and far, all the Jewish people everywhere, all the Noachites, anybody who has dedicated themselves to God. I'm going to have them in mind that they should be blessed, and that we should move toward an era in which the entire world knows God. After lighting, I'm probably going to find myself over on the couch with a good book or a prayer book. I'm going to pray. My kids are going to be playing. Everybody is bathed. The house is sparkling. There's good food simmering on the stove. It's a relaxing time, a quiet time, a time to commune with family and with God. The first course is for sure challah. We've got dips. How about some salmon? Chicken soup. After the soup course, I'm going to bring out some type of meat. Now, if you're a vegetarian, I hope I don't offend you. I was actually vegetarian for 7.5 years, so I get you. But we're actually going to be having stuffed capons this week, some potato kugel, deli roll, all sorts of delicacies, things to make the Shabbos delicious. So why do the Jewish people put such emphasis on making delicacies for Shabbos if it's just a list of don'ts? We're in a relationship with God, and we are supposed to be bringing heaven down to earth. We are supposed to be taking the mundane, the everyday physical things of life, and elevating them in servitude to God. It even says that at Mount Sinai, the people perceived God, and they ate and they drank. That's what we do. We perceive God. We perceive God in everything. We take everything in life and we elevate it in servitude. If you want to eat meat, you have a desire to eat meat, no problem. But make sure the food is kosher if you're a Jewish person. Make a blessing over it. Serve it on a holy day in a beautiful way. Enjoy it. Appreciate it. You have a desire for intimacy? No problem. Make sure it's with the right person in the right way at the right time. Do it in the way that God asked you to, and it's a beautiful, wonderful thing. Paul, on the other hand, Paul thought this world had to be escaped from. Paul thought that this world was an evil, horrible place, and even called Satan the god of this world. He thought that you had to have some kind of special knowledge, and of course the special knowledge is the knowledge that only he had. He even went so far as to saying that celibacy is a gift, and that people should be like him, but it's better to get married rather than burn. I mean, come on, guys. This world has so much holy potential inside of it. And that's the Jewish relationship with the commandments. God gave us the commandments in order for us to elevate this life, in order to make this life holy. So if you're thinking about Shabbos, for instance, as just a list of do's and don'ts, then you're totally missing the point. You're missing out on the intimacy that you can have with God. Now, Shabbos is not for everybody. Shabbos is not incumbent upon non-Jewish people. It's a gift that God gave to the Jewish people as a sign forever. And we so appreciate it, and we're so thankful for it. So when somebody like Paul comes along and makes disparaging statements about the law, it shows us that no, he didn't have an understanding. He was not a Pharisee. So anyways, I gave you a glimpse into my Shabbos evening. The rest of my Shabbos is going to go along in basically the same vein. We're going to have more meals. We might get together with friends. We might go to synagogue. I'm a woman. I'm not obligated to pray with a quorum of 10. So I'll probably end up staying home tomorrow because I like to catch up on my reading and my learning. So that's what I'll probably do. So yeah, that's basically what my Shabbos is going to look like. No pings and dings, no distractions. Just family time, relaxing, reading, learning, getting together, eating good food. It's not just a list of don'ts. So knock Paul out of your head. Paul had a very negative view of the Torah. We don't. Why? Because we're actually Pharisees.